Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Come on in. Let me make sure that I am showing this live on my page. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you guys are having a great Wednesday. All right, let me share this. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Hey, Prophet E, good to see you. I'm trying to share this right now. Happy Wednesday. Hey, Prophet B. Good to see you. Not you're ready for me to pluck your edges during lunchtime. Thank you. We have ladies on YouTube and Facebook. Do me a favor, tag, share, let everyone know that I am live. Let everyone know that I'm live. Y'all, I looked at my YouTube and I realized I haven't gone live since August of last year. Whoo, Jesus. But I am super, super happy to be back at it. I can't promise you that this is going to be happening frequently, but I am happy to have the opportunity to come on here and pour. Hey, Pastor Chelsea, you missed the noon sessions. Hey, Sasha, good to see you, darling. Yeah, I haven't been live since August of last year. But like I said, I'm not making any promises. I'm not saying that this is going to be a regular thing. Hey, Shay. But I did have a word that I wanted to share with you guys. So please share, share, share. Let everyone know that I am live and I have a word. So let me give you a little bit of background as to why, I'm sharing this word. I've been in a very introspective place right now. Hey, Mama. Um, I've been in a very introspective place right now. And so, when we're in that introspective place, we're quiet. We're seeking the Lord. We're spending a lot of time in meditation and prayer. We're spending a lot of time. And if you're on YouTube, do me a favor and run over to Facebook real quick, share it, and then jump back on. Yes, thank you for tagging. Thank you for tagging. But I've been in a very introspective place, just concerning some things that I'm doing, what God has me doing for my individual calling. But He's also been revealing things to me regarding, of course, what He's doing in the country, some things that are on the horizon in this nation. And so I've been in prayer about those things as well. One of the biggest things that has I've been challenging myself to. Hey, Tiffany, good to see you. Thank y'all for sharing. Thank you for tagging. I have been challenging myself, and I'm jumping right in here because I have other things to do, and I don't want to delay. So if you can't jump on, please catch the replay because I feel like this word is going to be helpful. But I have been in a very, very introspective place. And one of the things that the Lord has been dealing with me about is what I am doing and why I am doing everything that I'm doing. I find myself kind of sifting through my life and testing each thing that I'm doing, each assignment, um each plan, each instruction, and ensuring that everything that I'm doing is because the Lord is causing me to do it. Hey, Brian, and from a place of faith. The Lord asked me this question uh just a couple days ago and was just saying, are you doing this from a place of fear? or are you doing this from a place of faith? And so I have been sifting through everything I've been doing to ensure that everything is from a place of faith. And so just today, as I was talking to the Lord this morning, he started reminding me of some of the things that I had said um in the word of the Lord for this year. So during the word of the Lord for this year, one of the things that the Lord was showing me was the fear tactics that were going to be used um, over these next several years, and how there was going to be this spirit of fear that was released, and everyone was in panic. And that was one of the biggest things that the Lord showed me, was just almost like this high levels of anxiety, these high levels of panic that people would be experiencing, um, as it relates to some of the plots and schemes of hell, for this country, right? And so, as the Lord was bringing me back to remembrance about the things that He had me sharing for Vision Sunday when we were releasing the word of the Lord, He was also parallel. I had this parallel experience of my own life, right? Assessing my own life, ensuring that everything that I'm doing is from a place of faith and not a place of fear. And so, as I'm meditating on what the Lord's showing me, He's saying, I'm preparing you. He said, I'm preparing you. I want you to get yourself already in a position where you have taken inventory of the things you're doing and why you're doing them, so that you're not doing anything unnecessarily. I just feel like I'm in this season where I'm kind of just offloading things, right? I'm casting aside extra weights. I'm removing unnecessary responsibilities. And even the responsibilities that are necessary, I'm making sure that I am doing it from a place of faith and not from a place of fear. I want you to understand the power of fear. Fear is the tool of choice for manipulation. Okay. Fear is the tool of choice when it comes to manipulation, because fear allows people to manipulate your decision making capacity and ability. And so the goal of the enemy is that you would be in a place with such high levels of fear that your ability to make decisions would be impacted. And we even see this from a psychological perspective, right? So one of the things that we see you fear utilized in is media. That's one of the biggest things that we see fear used as a tool, is in shaping our perspective of what we see, so that it can begin to impact how we respond. Because when a person is in fear, they're in an extremely vulnerable position. When a person is in fear, you can you can get them to totally distrust their own gut instincts and their intellect and their ability. When a person is in fear, you can get them to respond quickly without thinking. When a person is in fear, they just want security, they just want safety, so you can convince them to believe anything as long as it's promising the things that they need. Fear begins to destroy human instinct. Hey, Deidre. Fear begins to destroy human instinct. It exploits human instinct. And so it causes us to even override our logical ability to think rationally. Fear will totally override your rationale and your logical thinking, and it sends you into a place of panic. And so, this is why fear is utilized so often when it comes to politics, when it comes to media. They can get you to do whatever they want you to do if they can create fear. Okay. They can get you to do whatever they want you to do if they can create fear, if they can intimidate you, if they can make you feel vulnerable, if they can make you feel helpless and hopeless. People can get you to do whatever they want you to do. And one of the things that I was saying as I was releasing the word of the Lord for this year was that there was going to be a spirit of fear that was released in the earth. There was going to be a spirit of fear. And the Lord is having me even take inventory of my own personal life, because if you are already living in the realm of fear, it's going to be easy for you to be manipulated with fear. Hear me. If you are already living and functioning from a place of fear, it's so much easier for them to manipulate you with fear. So God has me in this place where he's saying, you need to ensure that everything that you are doing, you're doing specifically because I've instructed you to do it, and you're doing it how I'm telling you to do it, and you're doing it why I'm telling you to do it, and you're doing it when I'm telling you to do it. If you cannot manage internal fear, you will be conquered by fear that's created externally. Please hear me. If you cannot manage and have authority over your internal fears, you will be overtaken and controlled by external fears. Things that are created and fabricated externally are going to conquer you. And I pulled up my word of the Lord for this year. And what I said in one of these points was, much is going to happen in these next 2 years. And I said, chaos caused by fear. Chaos caused by fear was specifically how I worded it. And then let me reread you what I released on at the beginning of this year. It says, things will get worse before they get better, and people will panic. A spirit of fear and confusion will be released, and it will cause division and conflict. You must not be sucked into the world's culture and instability, but be rooted in God. If you are struggling with anxiety and fear, get delivered now and deal with it now. It will be a weapon of sabotage that the enemy will use to hinder the advancement of the kingdom. We're just seeing the sprinklings, y'all. Please hear me. We are just seeing light sprinkles compared to what's about to come by the middle of this year and toward the end of the year. And then by next year, we're going to see full out chaos. Please hear me. We are in the very, 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 very early stages. And so if you're freaking out right now and you can't manage fear now, then you will find yourself completely losing your peace next year. The word of God told us in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 7, it says, seek peace and well-being for the city where I've sent you to exile, and pray to the Lord on his behalf, for in his peace, well-being, you will have peace. So this is a time where it's very important for us to be in intercession for the peace of our city, wherever city you are living in. Of course, we want the peace of our nation as well, but start with your city. But it's very important for you to start taking personal inventory, because what I found is I literally was going through kind of like a mental assessment with myself earlier today. And I'm going to show you how I did it so that you can also do this same thing. I was assessing something I was doing, and then I looked at the motivation of why I was doing it. Okay. The motivation of why I was doing or trying to do a particular thing was a financial motivation, right? I was trying to make a certain amount of money by a certain time. And then I started to assess that motivation and say, well, why do I feel like I have to rush to get to this point? What is the real motive and what is the real core belief connected to why I'm doing what I'm doing? And then I was able to recognize a level of fear, because the fear was, oh, but then I won't achieve this goal and these plans that I wanted to achieve. And then I assessed the core belief that fear was being built upon, which was, but I need to make this much money. And then I said, hold up, I don't though. See, this is where we start to challenge our thoughts and our perspective, because see, we just be running off with things without ever questioning where it's coming from and if where it's coming from is even true. So I said, no, I don't though. That's something I want. That's not something that's mandatory. That's not something that's even God told me to do. That's just something I want. Right? And so now, after I assess that this is something I want, what did I do next? I gave myself permission to let go of that anxiousness that was connected to me feeling like I had to do this. Because I'm in a place in life where I'm saying, I want more rest. I have responsibilities that I have some responsibilities that are not going to let up. They're not going to get easier, though they're not going to go away. They are requirements. They are actual requirements from God. I have certain responsibilities that are going to create a level of stress and busyness in my life. So now I'm really assessing what is in my life that's creating busyness that doesn't have to be there, because I need to rest more. Because I'm doing too much right now, and I want to rest more. I just feel a sanctified, sit yourself down somewhere spirit in this season. And because I want to rest more, that's becoming a goal for me. I am assessing everything that I'm doing, and I'm assessing why I'm doing it. So in that moment, I was able to acknowledge that this was not coming from God. This was coming from a personal ambition. And that the enemy even allowed fear to come in and make me anxious about not achieving a specific goal from a pressure I was putting on myself. It was not a pressure that anyone else was putting on me. It was not a pressure, a weight that God was putting on me. It was something I was putting on myself. And it still was fear in there. There still was a level of anxiety in there. And I said, no, I can begin working towards this goal without being afraid of not achieving this goal. And I can still work on this goal without it wearing me out and adding so much more to my plate. Because my life is already busy as it is. I don't need to go and add things that God isn't telling me to add. And so the Lord is dealing with the roots of fear that we have in our lives that are becoming the things, our driving forces. Do you realize how often our driving force is fear connected to personal ambition? Just like you said, Pastor Chelsea, personal ambition. Do you realize how much of our driving force is fear connected to personal ambition? I see it all over social media every day. And you know what's even crazier is this is American culture. This is American culture. American culture is very fueled by fear. It's very fueled by the rat race, by anxiety, by comparison, by materialistic desires. That is our culture. And you know how I know that's our culture? Because when I travel other places, it is not like that. When you travel to other countries, you realize how fast we're used to going, because we get frustrated because everybody's driving slow, everybody's moving slow, everybody's just going with the flow, and we're just I mean just running for no reason. Running for no reason. And because this is integrated into the fabric, the makeup of our culture, our American culture, it is easy for them to utilize fear as a way to control us. And in this next season, that is what they're going to do. We're going to see the spirit of fear produce so much chaos and worry, to where people are going to be having mental breakdowns. People are going to be going through a lot mentally, because there's going to be so much fuel and fire added, because people will make you fearful to get you to their side, to get you to agree with them, to get you to do what they want you to do, to get you to see how they want you to see. They will create fear to manipulate your behavior. So we see it in advertising, we see it in media, we see it in the news, we see it in political campaigns, we see it as a way to control us socially. So this is what I need you to do, is I need you to start to take assessment. Good to see you, thank you for jumping on. To start to take assessment about yourself. I was reading Psalm 134, verse 4, and it says, I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all of my fears. I sought Yahweh. Now, that word sought in Hebrew, it doesn't just mean to seek, but it means searching and investigation. So it's not just me saying, oh, I went to the Lord, or oh, I talked to the Lord, but it's literally, I am investigating the Lord and to obtain information and understanding. Now, get this, because when we look at it from this perspective, it's going to give you more language for what you need to be doing in this season. Because what we think creates peace and deliverance from fear is just, let me just talk to the Lord real quick, or let me just look up, let me just worship. You know, we minimalize it and make it, we oversimplify it. We just think, if I just go a quick prayer, I'm going to be delivered from my fears. No. When it says, I sought the Lord, hey, Pastor B, he's saying, I investigated and searched diligently and obtained information and understanding from the Lord. And what happened when I did that? He delivered me from my fears. He rescued me from distress. He rescued me from danger. This isn't just a physical rescue. This also means a spiritual rescue, a moral rescue, an internal rescue. He delivered me. I believe that part of the deliverance that we experience from fear comes from the revelation of truth. Hey, Pastor Aisha, it comes from the revelation of truth. It comes from me seeking and investigating the Lord, getting to an understanding, getting into gaining information from God that reminds me of who he is and what he feels about me, his love for me, and his sovereignty and his power and his peace. As I investigate, as I search in the Lord, deliverance comes. This is going to be a season where it's not enough just for you to say your quick prayer, oh God, give me peace. Oh God. No, honey, you got to get into your word. You have to get into understanding. You have to get into revelation of who God is. And you have to allow that truth to make you free, to deliver you from fear. It's not enough just for us to just take to talk to God, but we have to come into an understanding of God. And I believe that a lot of us don't trust God is because we don't understand and know him enough. We don't know him well enough. And so it's hard to trust somebody you don't know. And even when we do know him, we have to assess how we know him, if what we know is true. But it is important for us to go into this place of really taking our plans, taking our desires, taking our motivations to the Lord and ensuring. I saw Pastor Shamal in here. Hey, Pastor Shamal, Prophet Shamal, and ensuring that we are moving from a place of faith and not from a place of fear. Because think about this, if you're already fear motivated, if what you're doing is already from a place of fear, what happens when what you're doing is interrupted by something happening in the government, something happening in the world? What happens? If you're already in fear and you're already worried that you're not going to achieve this, then you're even more at the mercy of extreme levels of fear when your ability to do what you're doing is interrupted. So if I'm doing this from a place of faith, even if it doesn't go like I expected it to go, I'm already moving in faith. So I'm just going to trust that God is going to make a way, that God is going to provide, that God is just redirecting me. See, because my motivation is faith. So I'm already walking in a place where I know I need God to make a way. So when something shifts, it doesn't move me the same way it moves someone who is moving from a place of fear. Because if I'm already fearful and I lose my job, what happens? You're even more fearful because you were already in fear with the job. When we are fearful about a thing, it becomes an idol to us. We see that thing as our sustainer. We see that thing as our provider. But when we're moving in faith and our hope is in God, I know that God can move however he wants to move. Even if the situation changes, God is still God. So please heed me, heed this warning, and take an assessment of your life. Look at what you're doing, why you're doing it, and assess if it's necessary and if you're moving with the rights in the right spirit, because things are going to be transpiring around us in this country over the next couple of years, and you can't afford to be living your life in fear, and you cannot afford to be drowning in things and responsibilities that God did not tell you to do. You need to know how to reserve rest and preserve peace. You need to know how to reserve rest and preserve peace. It is time for you to start getting more serious about guarding your peace. It is time for you to get more serious about caring for yourself well. Do you understand that your self-neglect and burnout also fuel the mental instability? So when you're stressed and you're not sleeping enough, that adds to everything else. And so that's one of the reasons why I've been trying to get myself in the bed earlier. I done told y'all I'm a night owl. But in this season, honey, I've been getting into bed. I've been getting to bed. My body has been saying, go to bed. And when I wrestle with going to bed, I ask myself, what do I plan to do? Like, what is keeping me up? And if it is keeping me up, why do I feel like, it's so dire that I can't go on and go to sleep right now? That's another place of that pattern of anxiety, of the hustle and bustle, right? So it's just yeah, it's a hard lesson, but I've had to learn it. That hustle and bustle thing, like, y'all, let it go. Please hear me. Please hear me. We have to work smarter. We have to work smarter. And so whenever God is taking me through a season, I know that he's taking me through it so that I can share with other people, because I just feel a sincere urgency to take better care of myself, to be more disciplined in every area, in my prayer time, in my study time, in exercise, in my eating, in my rest, in my mental health. I just feel an urgency that there has to be more discipline in every area. There has to be more balance. And when God fortifies you, it's just like um a castle, you know how it has a wall. When there is about to be a war, they have to fortify the walls and the boundaries protecting this kingdom. When God takes you into a season where he's fortifying you, please hear me. That's because something is about to break out. And he's such a good God that he will fortify your soul and your mind and your body to ensure that you can withstand the war that is about to happen. Because the people that are destroyed the worst about with when we have crazy seasons in the country are the people who were already unhealthy mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. We saw that during the pandemic. When people were not healthy mentally and emotionally, people were having all kinds of breakdowns during that pandemic. They couldn't cope. So the Lord will fortify you to handle things that are going to happen that are beyond your control. We don't see ourselves as a temple enough. We don't see ourselves as a structure that God uses. We're just walking around here doing whatever. But the Lord is going to help you to endure by strengthening you. We're trying to control everything around us, baby. You can't control the government. You can't control people. But what you can manage is you and how you're impacted by the things that happen that you can't control. Catch this. The way that you can determine your health, your current health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, is by how well you navigate the things that happen that you can't control. Please let that sit. Let that sit on you. That's how you determine your mental, emotional, spiritual well being. You determine, you judge it, you measure how well you are by how well you handle the things that you can't control. When we go into a place of high levels of anxiety, high levels of depression, high levels of mental instability, high levels of panic, freaking out, it's because you're realizing you can't control the things around you and it's making you fearful. And because you're not internally stable and strong and fortified and established in God, you're panicking and your whole mental everything is unraveling because now you don't feel safe. Now you're constantly afraid. Now you don't trust that you're going to have what you need because you can't control everything that's happening around you. And that shows that you have to do more work on you. We spend so much time trying to work on everybody else and everything else that we haven't done no work on us. We haven't done any work on ourselves. This is the time to work on yourself and take assessment and inventory of what you're doing. I'm not on here trying to just prophesy and predict what's about to happen. Look, I already told you what's coming, but at the end of the day, that's not so that you can freak out about it. It's so that you can take assessment of yourself and prepare yourself, because you only thing you can do is pray. The only thing you can do is pray. You can't stop that stuff unless God wants it to stop. So what does that mean? I gotta prepare my house. Like a person prepares their house for a hurricane, you have to prepare your house for this chaos that's about to come. The person who knows a hurricane is coming, honey, they boarding up the windows. They're removing certain things from outside that can fly away. They're stocking up. They're doing everything they need to do. We're so busy trying to stock up natural water and food and material things that you're not stocking up and managing your internal. You got all this tissue and water and still losing your mind. Come on, somebody. You run around trying to stock up and have emergency shelters, but you have not fortified your own soul and your mind to be able to handle these things. So you got a house full of necessities, but you got a brain full of fear and anxiety. And that's the problem. We always want to focus externally. And the reason why this matters to me is because I help the people who deal with things internally. And I see the consequence of us not tending to our mind, our emotions, our soul, and our spiritual posture. I see the consequence. I see what happens when you neglect yourself, but you go run out and go shop. We are in a mental health crisis right now. We have more people who need counseling than we have counselors. Please hear me. We have more people who need help than we have people to help them. And we are about to go into more of a crisis, more chaos, more fear in this country. It is going to get worse before it gets better. So what you have to do is tend to this and your spirit. You got to. You have to start breaking these bad habits. And you have to stop making and normalizing fear and anxiety. You have to stop normalizing that thing. And this is one of the ways the enemy he helps to condition us. We got songs like "My Anxiety, It Keeps Haunting Me." We're doing dances to it, and we're dancing around at the fact that we are anxious and that we are in fear and that we're in terror. We're dancing to a song that's expressing torment because we've normalized it. Jesus. And we're addicted to fear. Do you understand that people are addicted to fear? This is why the news can use fear to make you watch. This is why people like sharing negative things. This is why people like fear and anger. This is why people love horror movies. This is why people love, certain rides. It's an adrenaline rush, and people normalize it, and people love fear. They're addicted to it. You can hate it and be addicted to it at the same time. And this is why prophets are able to manipulate people and take your money, because they prophesy all of this fear, or they prophesy prosperity, and you hang it on to their every word, but you're not doing anything to prepare for anything. Oh, I need to jump on and see what the word of the Lord is for this year. For what? For what? What are you going to do about it? For what? Why do you need to know what's going to happen? If you're not going to take heed and lean into the Lord and get serious about this, why do you need to know everything that's about to happen when you're not going to do anything? Please help me understand. Because then when we say something is coming, people don't want to take it seriously. When we say something is coming, everybody's just acting like it's just a joke. You have a personal responsibility to God and to you to prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Exactly, Prophet B. Treating it like a collector's item. Yeah, they say, and just knowing so that you can say, yeah, they said it was going to happen, but what did you do to prepare? And I'm not talking about, like I said, I'm not just talking about preparing externally. What are you doing to prepare internally? What are you doing to strengthen and fortify your faith? How are you drawing nearer to God? How are you offloading unnecessary things in your life? How are you preparing and protecting your peace? How are you dealing with your emotional and mental health? How are you dealing with this? Because if you're barely making it now, how are you going to make it when things get worse? And it's not always just going into a counseling session. Even after the counseling session, guys, we got to take some responsibility for ourselves, for our minds, for our emotions, for what we do. Just like I was telling you my process earlier. I am a therapist, but I still have to actually utilize the tools that I teach to other people and I give to other people. We have so many people helpers who are unhealthy because we don't practice what we preach and we don't utilize the things that we tell other people to utilize. We have to first take care of ourselves before we can help someone else. So I was seeking the Lord and I said, Lord, I want more rest in my life. I have peace, but I need more rest. Physical rest, and not just rest to sleep, but even space to do some of the things that I've been needing to do, that I've been so busy with everything else. I still haven't really decorated my house the way I want to, because I'm always working. I'm always working. I'm always helping someone. I'm always putting out a fire. I'm always dealing with a crisis. I don't even have time to do general pleasurable things like go pick out some decor for my house. And I was looking around today and I said, why am I so busy that I've been living in my home 3 years and only place I really decorated was my office? That's personal inventory. Me assessing, do I want my life to be so busy that I can't do basic things? Because I'm always working on something. I'm always working on something. And so, and even if I am working on something, why do I feel like there has to be such an anxious urgency? Not the spiritual urgency, but a personal urgency. Why does it have to be a rat race? And some of that, like I said, is cultural programming. It's cultural programming. That if I'm not running all the time, I'm not really being effective. I'm not really being productive. I'm not really being efficient. If I'm not, oh, I got to get this done by this. I got to get this done by that. I want to get God's assignments done on time. All this extra stuff, it's not God's assignment. So why am I moving like it is? These are the questions I ask myself. These are the conversations I have with myself. So I just want to let you in on this because I feel like this is a time where the Lord is saying, pump your brakes. You're going to need to reserve some energy for what's happening around you. I feel a spiritual stock up and an emotional and energy stocking up happening right now. Please hear me in the spirit. I feel like the Lord is saying, stock up internally. Don't go into this next year depleted. Don't rush out. I ain't saying rush out and buy tissue and paper towels because that's all the prophets want to say. I'm telling you, stock up internally. You cannot afford to exit this year and enter next year mentally and emotionally depleted. Because there's going to be so much happening in this country that is going to be draining. You need to be stocked up. Your peace needs to be stocked up. Your rest needs to be stocked up. Your energy needs to be stocked up. Your time needs to be rationed. Your energy needs to be rationed. Don't do unnecessary things. Make sure that what you're doing is what God is instructing you to do. Don't fill up your house with tissue, but don't fill up your house with peace. Come on, somebody. Don't stock up on water, but you haven't stocked up on rest. Please hear me. Don't go filling your freezers with food when your spirit isn't filled with the bread of his word. It is time to internally fortify yourself. It is time to position yourself in the realm of the spirit and make sure that you're fortified and anchored in Jesus. You hear me? Come on, Prophet B. That's what I'm talking about. If you're a spiritual first responder, you can't afford to be depleted. You can't afford. I just told my team, I'm not having a conference next year. This year, y'all better get in where you fit in because we're not having one next year. Because the Lord told me, put your energy in building out Pretty and Powerful University and preparing to train. He said, don't put all your energy in hosting this event. Don't put all your money in hosting this event next year. He said, be prepared to train. He said, be prepared to train. Have the conference this year, but don't have one next year. He said, because you need to be actually moving in the thing that you're training people to do. It's going to be time for boots on the ground. Don't fill your calendar up with unnecessary things that God hasn't told you to do. Because there is going to be a need for you. And you have to be strong, and you have to be healed, and you have to be whole, and you have to be full of faith, and you have to have spiritual endurance. But it's been too much. We spend too much time burning ourselves out on unnecessary things. We spend too much time burning ourselves out on unnecessary things that when God calls you to do something, now you're like, I'm too tired. I don't have it. You don't have it because I was just having a conversation with my 14-year-old son. And child, this is a DoorDash generation. The way these Gen Zs be door dashing, my Lord. And I was getting on to him because I said, when you have money, You are always spending it on unnecessary things. You're ordering this when I'm about to go pick up groceries, and you can make this at home. I said, and then when it's time for us to, when we actually are doing something and you need money, you have no money because you're spending your money on unnecessary things. And now you're broke when it's time to spend money on something that's actually fun and something you really want to participate in. This is how we do with our energy. This is how we do with our money and with our time. We keep spending it in places where it's not necessary. And when the time comes and the Lord's calling for us and saying, I need you now, we're saying, God, I'm just so tired. God, I'm just so worn out. God, I just can't do it. God, I just ain't got it. He said, well, what did you do with the time I gave you when I was telling you to prepare? What were you doing? What were you doing when I was warning you and telling you what was on the horizon? What were you doing? I was too busy keeping up with the Joneses. I was too busy trying to compare myself to everybody else. I was too busy launching this and hosting this and building that you didn't tell me to because I felt like I should be doing something. We have take inventory. Take inventory. Take inventory of your life. Please take inventory of your life. I appreciate that, Pastor Chelsea. I don't have no choice. I don't have a choice because I can't do anything without the Lord. And if he's not telling me to do something, that means his hand isn't on it and I ain't doing it. Take inventory. That's right. That's right, Elder D. We mismanage the opportunity to prepare. We don't take it seriously. And then when it happens, everybody wants to panic. I mean, what can you do? Only thing you can do is be obedient. As a prophet, the only thing you can do is be obedient. You can't control what people do with the word released. But one thing you're not going to say is that I didn't say what the Lord told me to say and that I didn't release it. Because it's not on me. After it leaves my lips, everybody's responsible for what they do with this information. Just like last year, I prophesied the government cutting back on things. And people don't take things seriously. They don't take the word of the Lord seriously. I don't know. Maybe if I was Joshua Giles, folks would have listened. But we get so caught up on the messenger, we don't take the word and the message seriously. And then when things start happening, we want to freak out and talk about why God, why God. He said, I told you. He said, I told you. You just don't. Do we understand that this is God's love and compassion towards us to give us the opportunity to prepare? Do we understand that this is God's love and compassion? Where he is trying to give us the opportunity to have the best chance possible of not just survival, but of the ability to thrive in a situation. This is why he would send his prophets to the children of Israel. This is why he sent them to tell them the truth. This is why he sent Jeremiah. And Jeremiah said, don't listen to those other prophets who are saying captivity is not going to be long. That's a lying spirit. Jeremiah said that's a lying spirit. The captivity is going to be long. He says, marry your sons and daughters, build houses, and plant gardens. He said, because we about to be here. But people don't want to hear that. They want to hear what's good, what sounds good and feels good to them. They want to hear that. And so they want to believe we're not going to be here long. And then what happens? You don't prepare. You get caught off guard because you chose to believe a lying spirit because it tickled your fancy. When Jeremiah was saying, I want you to be, the Lord still wants you to increase. Hey, Basona Mahaya. He told them, build houses, marry your sons and daughters, and plant gardens. He says, so that you will not decrease in captivity, but you will increase. Do you understand that that's the God that we serve? That he looks out for his own? He looks out for his own, and he would allow you to increase in captivity. He would allow you to prosper in captivity. He will allow you to grow. He says, I don't want you to diminish in captivity, so that when I release you out of captivity, you are a growing and a thriving people. I believe that for the kingdom of God, that in this season of a form of captivity that we are in and we are entering into, it is his desire that we don't diminish, but that we increase. And not just increase numerically, not just increase financially, but even increase spiritually. In the realm of the spirit, you will increase, you will get stronger, you will have more authority, you will have more power, you will have more influence in the realm of the spirit. And that crosses over to the natural for you to begin to expand the kingdom of God. And because you're expanding the kingdom, you're expanding yourself. He doesn't want you just to survive, he wants you to thrive. We are of the kingdom. We're not here just to survive. We're here to thrive. And the way that he helps us thrive is by sending warnings and prophetic insights for us to grab hold of them and start to apply them to our lives. And so this is the time for you to stock up on your spiritual energy, your spiritual strength and growth, your mental and emotional and physical energy, and for you to cut the fat off of your life and remove the unnecessary things and the emotional leeches that are in your life, draining you of your peace, of your strength, of your joy. You need to trim the fat. You need to cast aside every weight and every sin that so easily entangles you, so that you can run with endurance. For we have need of endurance next year. We have need of strength. We have need of peace. We have need of power. If you're called to help people, you need to fortify yourself this year. Hear me. The Lord is saying, I'm going to use you in a mighty way. We're going to see the glory of God being released in 2027 in a way like we have never seen it before. But it is going to come from a people who are working, who are ministering, who are tilling, who are building, who are laboring for the kingdom of God, who are saving souls, who are bringing people into deliverance and freedom. We are going to be working for that glory. Do you understand that we call and cry out revival, but we don't understand the work of revival? That was something I loved about hearing from past Apostle Mary Alice Islip. I always love to hear her tell her stories of revival in Europe, because one of the things that she helped me come into a realization of is we're always talking about revival, but we don't think about the work of revival. She says, because when you have all of these people coming to Christ, they need to be trained. They need to be discipled. They need to be taught. And she says, when that iron curtain dropped and they were able to take the gospel to these formerly communist places, they were praying and training and discipling and evangelizing around the clock. She said, so they spent years preparing for that revival. And when that revival came, they were ministering around the clock. Do we know what we're praying for? Revival has become such a cliche. It has become such a trendy word. Some of the main folks who be hollering about revival don't want to do any work. You cry and complain when service is too long or when prayer goes on too long, talking about some revival. Come on now. I feel a clarion call to just for us to just get ourselves together, y'all. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. That's all I got. I wasn't expecting to be ranting for an hour, but here we are. If you have not already registered for Pretty and Powerful University Intensive Weekend, I've already told you that it is that I'm not having one next year, right? I'm not having one next year. So make sure that you are in the house this year. We are going to have some events. Okay, so don't get it twisted. We are still going to be doing in-person events, and um we're still going to be hosting some opportunities for us to come together and for us to train. But I will not be doing a conference next year. So we about to, when I say we going up, we are going up. Okay. On May 29th through the 31st, we're going all the way in. The Lord is going to move in such a tremendous way. As you know, this year's theme is reimagine. And so we are dealing with identity. We're dealing with your perspective of yourself so that you can be liberated to walk in the fullness of who God has called you to be. So if you have not registered for Pretty and Powerful Intensive Weekend, honey, don't delay. The general admission ticket is only $75. And if you purchase a 2-pack, you can get it even cheaper. VIP is officially sold out. Okay. VIP is officially sold out. But general admission is still available. If you want to get it for a discounted price, I believe it's like $60. I want to say 63 or something like that if you buy a 2-pack. Find some people to come with you, and y'all buy the 2-pack so that you can come. But this is going to be a time of transformation on the 29th, on Thursday, from 10 to 3 o'clock. We have the Founders Circle. The Founders Circle is only $50. It's only $50 for pastors and those who are serving in leadership and ministries. If you want to be, we're going to do a lot of training on leadership. My husband, Apostle Clifton, and I are going to be pouring during Founders Day to equip in the area of leadership. So it's not just for senior pastors and church planters, it's also for people who serve on pastoral teams. And lunch is going to be included, and it's only $50 for Founders Circle Day. It is not a part of the general admission of Pretty and Powerful University Intensive Weekend. It is a separate cost. And so I want you to go online, prettyandpowerful.org, and get your ticket. Like, don't delay, y'all. This is not just a conference for us to come together and just be empowered, but you're also going to be equipped. I'm super excited about the speakers that we have this year who are very anointed to pour in their various areas. And then we're bringing in the deliverance general herself, Pastor Bev Tucker. Okay, she's little and she's mighty. I love her. We've ministered at multiple events at the same time. So I've run into her and interacted with her many times, and she's such a humble woman of God and a kind woman of God, but she is nothing to mess with in the spirit. And I'm super excited to have her this year. I'm also excited to bring in Bishop Maya White, who is a powerhouse preacher who is going to be doing chapel service on that Friday night. We have some of my spiritual daughters and mentees who are leaders and revivalists in their own right are going to be teaching and preaching and singing. We also have Kira Daffin coming back down from Michigan. Absolutely love her. She is a voice that is so necessary in gospel, who is going to be leading worship when I open up on Thursday night for Pretty and Powerful University Intensive Weekend. Y'all, it's gonna be so good. I just can't even. And this year on the Saturday, on the 31st, we are going to have a social media and marketplace ministry panel. So we have a panel of some amazing Christian business women and influencers, and we're going to talk about when God calls you to do ministry in an unconventional way outside of the church, through business, through social media. How do you navigate that journey? What was their journeys like? So it's just going to be an amazing time. I can't say enough about how excited I am about what God is doing. So Friday is Real Wholeness Day. We focus on our personal healing, deliverance, soul health, and then Saturday is University Day, where we get into the training for ministry training. So we're going to do some prophetic activations. It is going to just, y'all, I could go on and on and on. I hope you know I'm excited and extremely in high expectation for God to move. So I don't know what you got going on May 29th through 31st, but make it happen. You know, pray, ask the Lord to open up some doors. Addie and her crew, they coming back. They're in Florida, and they were here last year, and they have already gotten their tickets and heading back from Florida. We have people coming from different places to join us this year. So don't delay. Don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and get your tickets. For Founders Circle Day, I only have 10 spots. I want to keep that spot small. Well, 9 spots. I want to keep that spot, that class small. Okay, I want to keep that class small. So there are only 10 spots for Founders Circle Day. Only $50 on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the 29th, on May 29th. So you register for that separately. So on opening night, the attire for chapel service that evening are the Pretty and Powerful colors, which is black, white, gold, and shades of pink. We are doing business casual on Thursday night, opening night. What is business casual? It means that it's not formal. You know, we're gonna have some reels and images that give you ideas as well. But this is, you know, something we wear to church. You know, if you have a little bit more of a churchy church, is not formal. It's not, you know, super dressy, but it's a little bit more professional, right? So we're doing business casual in the P2U colors, black, white, gold, shades of pink. On Friday night for chapel service. Now, throughout the conference, we wear variations of P2U colors, okay? Throughout the conference, daytime sessions, all of that, we're wearing our black, white, gold, shades of pink, denim, stuff like that throughout the conference. Now, Friday night chapel service is a floral theme. Now, I want you to think garden floral, not beach floral. So don't look like you're coming to a luau. I want you to think garden floral, like what we saw on, well, like what we're seeing on the graphics. And we'll also post videos that will give you examples of garden floral for Friday night's chapel service. And then on Saturday, we're doing conference tees and denim, just like we did last year. Conference tees and denim. So the hotel room block has been finalized. That will be going out via email and be posted by tomorrow. Also, the schedule will be on the website this week, and that will you'll be notified of that in the email as well once the event schedule is posted. The shirt designs will be available very soon. So if you want to pre-order your shirts, you can. VIP, you have shirts that are included with your VIP ticket. Okay, so that will be revealed. The conference shirts will be revealed as well. We also have some cool merch this year that we did not have last year, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll see when you get there, but we have some really cute merch that you're going to have the opportunity to purchase at the conference. But just please be in prayer for me and for my team as we continue to plan and prepare. Make sure that you're signed up for my email so that you receive updates about the conference. So go to CherieEddington.com and subscribe to my email list so that you can get updates. And also, if you're subscribed to the Pretty and Powerful website email list, you'll also get those updates as well. Okay. But I am super excited to hang with you guys. I'll be popping up a little bit more to go live. Also, we are getting the P Square Squad group revved back up. So be on the lookout in the group. If you're in the Pretty and Powerful, the P Square Squad group, be on the lookout. We're going to be having some announcements in the group over this next week. All right. But I love you all with the love of Christ. I pray that you have a great rest of your day, that your week goes well. And if you are looking for a place to go to Bible study tonight, join us at Liberate Church. We would love for you to join us for Bible study. You can go to our Facebook page to find out our website. Our address. You go to our Facebook page for the address, or our IG page, or our website for the address. We look forward to you joining us tonight at 7:30 or Sunday for Resurrection Sunday. Be our guest. If you're looking for a place to worship for Resurrection Sunday, we'd love to have you at Liberate Church. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.